And then we should get a thing that says "To the outside world." Yep.
Chapter 1.
I win.
To the outside world.
Clever. Clever chapter title is clever. Those are also unskippable, but they're not very long, so whatever. Again, I believe there are eight chapters. There might be 9. I think there's 8 chapters, though. And for whatever reason, can't save to freaking memory card 1 because it says it's full, but I'm using an emulator, so there's absolutely no way it could be full. Okay, it works now. Oh, no. There it goes. Not enough free space. How can I not have enough free space? I have a freaking 1 terabyte hard drive that this thing is sitting on. Free space, my bum. Anyway, the game functions, it's basically a dungeon crawler. For most, probably about half of the game is dungeon crawling, the other half is actually creating towns from the dungeon crawling. We don't get that till chapter 2, I believe. But throughout it, there's like special zones. This is the shortest one, but there's always at least 1 boss per area and typically a midpoint, which may or may not be a boss. But we need to go this way. There's medals that you can get for different things. At the beginning of the game, I seriously doubt you're capable of getting most of the medals, especially the time limit ones and the unknowns and stuff like that. But you can come back later and get all the medals you want. I can't remember what the medals are for. I think you can buy special items medals. No, this is not a short game by any stretch of the imagination. The chapters get longer and longer as you go through. The dungeons get longer and longer as well. So some of the late game dungeons are, you know, like 30 to 50 areas, which is insane.
Could get lost pretty easy here.
It's also procedurally generated, which you'll find out in a second here. You don't actually need the floor map. Really?
If you use the gate key on the exit for that floor, you can get to the next floor.
My god, man.
Just keep doing that, and you can get to the end of any dungeon. Got it, Max?
I do indeed, sir.
I'll give it a try.
Try not to murder myself in the process. This is just chapter 1. That map I showed you earlier, the dungeon map or whatever, is just chapter 1. Most of the floors can be cleared in typically less than 5 minutes. Generally around like 3 or so. But the actual areas are procedurally generated. Here's the sewer rat. You can see how basically it's built of tiles. So the entrance is 1 tile, this is another tile, this big area is 1 group of tiles generally. So each time, got confused, each time you go into a floor, it gets procedurally generated, so the floor will be different every single time you go to it, and everything's laid out different. The enemy types will be the same, so this floor there will only be frogs, clowns, and rats. I think there might also be bats on the first floor. Not entirely sure. But anyway, when you kill an enemy, that weapon gets experience, which is these little blue orbs. And you can see the little blue bar next to the weapons. That's the experience. Red is durability. Kind of like Diablo 2, yeah. And the procedurally generated part. And the fact that it's a dungeon crawler. But anyway, it's third person, not top down. Every time it levels up, you get synthesis points. And synthesis, if I can stop pushing that instead of this, you can take any item in the game and spectrumize it, which does this. So you can use it on that weapon for a certain number of synthesis points to boost it up. And there you go, and I'll explain it in a bit once I actually get a level on one of my weapons. Although I probably, unless I have the items I want, I'm probably not going to use those levels for a while. Each level boosts the weapon attack power just by default. That's all it boosts, as far as I'm aware. It might boost durability, but that's all it boosts. It doesn't boost any of the elemental stuff. And the thing about elemental stuff in this game, as you might notice, I didn't mean to do that. I got poisoned. Splendid. Now I'm gonna die to poison on the first floor. Kill him. There we go. Actually, do we have an item that removes poison? Yes, we only have 2 though. Let's not die to poison so early in the game, shall we? Plus, lightning, everything. But the elemental effect only applies if the creature is weak to it. So you can have a weapon with 500 lightning, 500 fire, 500 scale or water or whatever. I can't remember what the elemental are. And if the creature is weak to water but not fire, only the water effect will be applied. I should have actually read that, but the magic crystal shows where all the stuff on the map is. I'll open it up for you. I'll probably play with it like this most of the time. And we got the key handle. Yay! There's also mimics in this game, so there's another reason From Software probably could have made it. The green dot, green square, hey Tori, green square on the map is where you come in, and the yellow square, which is probably in the bottom right, I can't actually see it, is the area exit. I like to go, you don't have to, once you get the key you can actually leave the floor, but I like to actually go through and kill all the monsters for the experience they give you. And the items. Because they do give you items. Downside is it, lowers your durability like crazy. The gun is a better weapon because it's ranged, and quite frankly ranged has a huge advantage. But its durability goes down like crazy. Right now it goes 1 per shot. Later on you can get weapons that are, 4 or 5 durability per shot if you haven't upgraded it very much. The wrench, however, if this guy would sit still, is not 1 per hit. At the moment it's actually 2 hits per durability. You voted for this. I'm gonna break my gun if I keep doing that. Are you gonna... No, he's gonna do that and murder me. Hey. Hey, there it goes. So the weapon leveled up and we got some synthesis, and now it's gonna tell us about spectrumizing crap. Do they still have back floors? What do you mean back floors? Oh, I know what you mean back floors, hidden areas. I don't believe this game has back floors. It does, however, have branching paths. A lot of those branching paths won't come into play until, like, Chapter 7 or so. I would like to kill... I can't kill him because I don't have a lot of durability on my weapon. This game is actually relatively difficult with the combat because the enemies hurt quite a bit. It's not, obviously not, Dark Souls level difficulty. Oh, the exit's that way, so let's go this way. Freaking hitting the wrong button. Let's repair the gun. I should probably not use the gun quite so much at the beginning because I'm going to have very limited... Hello, sewer rat. Very limited repair powder for it. So I should probably just stick to the wrench. I got teabagged by a frog while I was while I was alive. Don't be hating on me. But certain enemies are weak to certain characters. For instance, there's big, essentially really, really big enemies that are meant to be fought with your little, like, walking tank guy that you get later. Which I'll show off a lot because I like it. And you can customize that as well. You can customize everything. It's pretty crazy. I like this game. And just as a forewarning, this is the very first dungeon in the game. It's not going to be particularly interesting. Especially since we're still on the first floor, because I'm going super slow about it. Whee! There are 2 characters in the game, and there are 2 additional... That guy pierces my block. How dare you? Block is not a 100% damage reduction on all enemies, but there are 2 variations on those characters as well. Indeed it does. And then it'll tell me stuff. You can also play golf in this game, which I probably will, because it's actually quite fun. It's pretty sweet. But Max here gets the walking tank thing, and the other character, which we saw earlier, which is Monica, it's the chick, she can actually transform into monsters, which is interesting, to say the least. A lot of the monsters you get early on are basically worthless, so that ability is basically worthless. Just so you know. I think I don't remember... I think it might be Chapter 3 when we unlock the golf minigame. It's entirely optional as far as I'm aware. But essentially it spawns a target and a ball, as golf is, target, a ball, and a hole, randomly in the area, and then based on where it spawned, you have a certain number of hits that you have to get it to the hole, and it actually uses the layout of the level that you're currently standing in to play it, so each time you play it, it's entirely different, which is quite fun. Choose the key, and go to floor 2. Between each floor you have a chance to save and go back to the start where you can purchase items and crap. Buffering, no. Guitaring, no.
Into the underground channel.
You knew it would happen. It's given that guitar would play at some point during this.
But there was a second reason why I wanted to go there.
It's a requirement at this point. Yay, cutscenes. Hey, it's Max. Max in his fancy outfit. You can actually have him wear that outfit. That was quite the spin there.
Your flounder, sir. Bon appetit.
Flounder? Oh, I have to push a button. Dear Lord. You can actually give him that lovely shade of pink, though.
Eat your dinner.
Just unlock everything. Yes, that's how you win the game.
Father? I'd like to ask you something.
And just like with Monarchy, you can actually use the charge attack to just basically perma-stun certain enemies.
About Mother. Where is she?
She's on vacation. You fool. Don't ask silly questions. That's a big table for 2 people.
I'm sure I told you this already. Your mother is doing important work far away from here.
But what's the name of the town, and
What is
job
on
she
his...
doing there?
That's a huge flounder, I'd like to point that out, but what is on his flounder?
It's nothing for you to worry about.
Is that supposed to be... Look at the size of that fork, man.
This is just how you always are. You don't tell me anything.
Like the maid. The maid's like, ah, gasp. Sir Max. Lord Max. What is it?
Young sir,
Young sir. There you go. I guess it would be Sir Max.
would you like me to go after him, sir?
Leave him be.
I guess they're always Sir. I don't really know. There's a big table for 1 now. Jeez, man. I like how they each have their own, like, freaking salt and pepper shaker because they're too far away. Actually surprised they had their own salt and pepper shaker. I think we get the walking tank here. So the 4th one in, I believe. I'm gonna go ahead and save. I save every single time because it's entirely possible for you to die on each and every single one of these floors at basically any point in the game. That's why they give you the option to save. You should take advantage of it. And on to floor 2, which is where we're gonna get bats, because we didn't get bats on floor 1. We're also gonna get what's-his-face talking to me on that walkie-talkie thing again, telling me how not to suck at the game. What else is new? Oh, he didn't actually. Thought he did. Battle with Rats is the name of this floor. Let's show the synthesis thing. These are only used for synthesis, so just spectrumizing them entirely isn't really a problem. But keep in mind, if you spectrumize them in a group, like if I did all 3 of these, I would have to use all 3 of them together. It creates 1 item each time you decide to synthesize something, so it's generally best at the early game to go with 1 or 2. I don't actually need exorcism, so that's entirely worthless. What do I want to upgrade my wrench to? That requires Smash and Beast, and that requires Attack, so probably this one. So Smash and Beast. Well, that's Beast, so let's do 2 of those. I don't think I have anything that's Smash, though. Bombs are Fire, I believe. Yeah. Lightning, that's Smash. Do I want to use a rolling log for that? Not entirely. Yeah, we may as well. Let's do 2 of those. I think I have 7 synthesis points. Cool beans. So just drag that over there. That'll boost the Smash. Smash is useful for the big enemies or heavily armored enemies like turtles or something like that. That'll boost that to 6. Later on I'm actually going to have like a freaking picture out so I know where I'm upgrading to, because certain ones are better than other weapons. And now it just needs Attack. D&D Online, I don't particularly like it. So now I just need to get that leveled up a bit so the attack goes up. The more points you have in a weapon before you build it up to the next level, the better the next level becomes. There's the bat. I hate bats, by the way. Mainly because I can't hit them with a stupid wrench. Whoa, camera. Which means I have to use the gun for it. Also, the closer you are with the gun, the more damage it does, so it has damage fall off. All the way to 0, not terribly far away. Oh, we also fight balloons on this floor. No, shoot over there, you imbecile. Just wasted a bunch of durability, and then nearly died. I don't know what's going on in the background. Freaking animals dying or something. Seriously. It's not even playing. Let's use that. I can't remember how to use items in this bar over here, so I'm not going to equip anything in there until I figure out how to do that, because at the moment, it's basically worthless. There's a chest. It's locked chest, so we'll sort that out in a second after we get rid of this rat and this clown. Oh, I got the freaking key already, so I could leave if I wanted to. There we go. Let's drop down to get the experience. I don't know how long it takes for the experience to fade, but it does, so be careful with that. These enemies are very family-friendly indeed. So I could use a key, but I don't have a key, or I could try forcing it open, which generally means I'm probably going to get poisoned. So I'm just going to leave it there. You must farm! You do have to farm in this game, generally a bit later in the game, when the other character comes in. Because the game has a tendency to force you to use both of the characters. Certain levels can only be done with one of the characters, you can't actually swap. So there will be grinding, mostly off screen. I know what the magic crystal does, shut up. Flame crystal. All of these crystals are entirely synthesis items. The other stuff, like the thick hide, those are used for various things, building stuff. Mainly. And then they can also be used for synthesis if you don't care for them, which you can actually buy those. I think you can buy crystals later as well. I hate you, bat, with a passion. There we go. You must farm forever. Hello, balloon. Oh, I forgot to mention, it hasn't come into effect yet, but the little red dots above their health bar that keep disappearing every time I hit them, that is the anger counter. I don't remember what anger does, but I believe it just boosts their attack power. So if you hit an enemy X number of times, they become angry and proceed to beat the living crap out of you. That's generally how the game works. Got all that. There is a massive weapon upgrade branching system that they've got set up, by the way, so those two is just those two are just the start of it. There's the exit, so I could leave if I wanted to. There is a bat, which I'm going to proceed to shoot in the face because I hate bats. There we go. May have to go back and buy some repair powder soon, because my gun is almost dead again. This. And you can, unlike the first Kingdom Hearts, and like the second one, you can actually open stuff in a fight. Which is kind of interesting, but whatever. Holy water, yay! It can also be used for spectrumizing. I'm pretty sure every single item in the game that is not a key item can be spectrumized, and now both of my weapons are almost dead. Let's go this way. Ta-da-da away! The enemies get a lot more varied. They vary per area. They also vary per floor, as you may have noticed. So later on you'll have, you know, 6, 7 different types of enemies in like one room, which is kind of crazy. And apparently everyone's dead, even though I haven't fully explored the place. Grab all the treasure chests, because they give items which are very useful for the beginning of the game. At the beginning of the game, you're not going to have an experience problem, you're going to have an item problem. You don't have enough items to spectrumize onto your weapon, synthesize on your own. Thanks for the map after I've explored the entirety of the area. Thank you, game. Such is the way of procedurally generated maps. They give you the useful items at the very end of it. Alright, next floor we go. I should probably just go ahead and repair my stuff now. If it breaks, it's just useless. It doesn't disappear like the first game. I can actually build my weapon up. That's what the arrows mean. It's a quick way to see if you can build your weapon up. But building up to the wrong one. Because I believe I want this top one, so I'm going to need to level it up some more. I could go for the true battle wrench, but I don't want to. So we shall continue. I forgot to put the key in. Which is probably going to be down here, mixed in with crap, because my inventory is no longer sorted because I did things. Yes, please. Onward to floor number 3 and to the save screen. You're gonna see this screen a lot of times. Literally, like millions of times, I'm probably going to save. And apparently all on the same slot, which I probably shouldn't do. Attack and defeat all enemies using only Max's right-hand weapon, which is his wrench, I believe, which I'm not gonna do.
The underground channel
'Cause I
ran
don't
on
care
ahead
for the
in
medals.
front of me. And as I pressed on, heading deeper, for some reason, thoughts of you, Mother, filled my head.
My god, that's weird. How dare you think of her? And you're crying.
I don't remember your face now, Mother, even though I must have seen it so often when I was small.
Deeper spelt wrong. Good job there, Craig. Failed. High five. Oop. This is the floor he calls me on. I don't want your freaking solicitations, man. Political phone calls constantly. No, I've been on the same floor the whole
Looks
time.
like I made it to the next floor.
Twice, actually.
The further in you go, the stronger the monsters are.
Indeed.
I will.
I skipped that on accident. I apologize.
Stronger monsters, you'll need to strengthen your weapons.
I already know how to do this.
Take care of your
But thank you.
weapons, you'll run into trouble on the next floor.
That's actually not true until, like, chapter 2, but whatever.
Be a buzz. I'll help
I don't care about combat, man. Yes, yes, help.
ladder, so you'll pick up on it in no time.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
I'll do my worst.
Be careful.
I will not try in any way, shape, or form to defend my life. Onward! Ghost in the Channel is the name of this floor, apparently. Ghost in the Shell. See what they did there? Oh, we got turtles now. These things are a pain. Oh dear. Mainly because they do that. You never know when they're actually done. Luckily, I upgraded my weapon with some smash, so I can deal with them a bit better. I think protector crystals are durability. There's a freaking bat, which I missed because my bullets travel at the speed of farts. I found a bundle of hay. Good for me. And a bone. An unknown bone and a chest. I think they're going to be super resistant to bullets. Luckily, you can just perma-block these guys until they finish moving. There they go. You can't actually stun-lock them either, so don't get greedy with the attacks on them, because they'll start rolling. Your farts go pretty fast. Mine, however, do not. This appears to be a fairly linear floor, actually. Which is usually unusual. Usually unusual? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I suppose it does. Hello. Should I go pink or yellow? Actually, I think it's green or yellow, yeah. Or red or yellow, sorry. Let's go red.
Very good.
I got that, which is actually something I prefer. I don't want a second wrench. Onward. Hello, turtle. Are you gonna do your roll for me? No, he's just gonna walk around. They could have chosen a better design for the bone. Yeah, they could have chosen a better design for many of the items in the game, but it works. You know it's a bone at first glance, so... Wind crystal. Turtle. Turtle crystal. Come along. If you don't push... They have a small glitch. If you start strafing them slightly, but don't push into them, they'll actually stop rolling. Well, stop hitting you, which means they'll roll for eternity in place, which is a little weird. Level up. Leap attack. I missed, and he didn't. There we go. I like how they're doing basically the same damage I am, which again, I've mentioned the game is actually kind of hard. Let's loop around this way. Make the most efficient use of my time. Generally, you want to keep your health above 50%. If you have the health items to manage that, but sometimes you can't do it. Oh, these guys are horrible. Because they do this! Spam fireballs, key to victory. Also, if you get really close to them to try to melee, they have like this crazy spin attack. Let me see if I can get them to do it. Hello? There he goes. Crazy spin attack. And dead. They're moderately irritating. See the enemy variants. There's a whole lot of it. And we're still at basically the start of the game, and we've seen, you know, like 7 different enemies. Snickermaker. Oh, you people. Hey, we got a power crystal. Those are actually pretty rare. I'm probably never going to use those. At least not yet. I have to save them for way later when it gets a lot harder to level up your weapons. As you can see now, it's actually quite quick. Right after I say those are rare, we get 2 in a row. Troll engine. Activate. There's an enemy over here. This is probably the last enemy, actually, unless there's one next to the exit, which sometimes there are. Hello, sir. Let's get some gun experience. Even though it's already twice as powerful than the stupid wrench. Oh, gun. And we got some more scrap metal. That's again building material, but you can use it for synthesis if you want. And he wasn't the last enemy, so there's one in this long corridor somewhere. Apparently right there. Oh, it's one of those. I didn't want to actually pick up the freaking thing. Oh, now you give me a magic crystal. Thank you, game. And he did absolutely nothing. Thank you, game! Making it for your gold... Oh, he's the last one. Making it for your magic crystal crap at the end of the level.
Alright. That takes care of you guys.
It does that a lot, where it gives you the map or the magic crystal at the very end, thereby making them basically worthless. So I really never worry about getting them. I tend to explore the whole level anyway. There are actually, we haven't gotten one yet because they're randomly generated, but there are actually additional areas to some floors, randomly made, that require a key. You can get the key on the floor though, so it's not the same as a back level, or back floor, or whatever they're called. But it generally has like 4 enemies and like some treasure in it, so they're good to open. Onward! The game rewards people who don't rush through floors. We're gonna save. Save these. Whoops. Whoops. I'm just gonna screw up everything, apparently. No, slot 2. Jesus. Can't control buttons. Do not know how they work. And I think this should be... We should get a... Yep, channel pump room. Alright. Dark Cloud 1 was a pretty good game, but it had some serious issues, which this game fixes, basically. We obviously hadn't gotten to the great part of the game where you can build cities, essentially. We'll get there, though. It's Chapter 2 is when we get that, so...
Donnie, I've come into a big chamber. There are what look like tanks everywhere.
Tanks? Do they have really big cannons on them?
That'll be the pump room.
Oh, those kind of tanks. Okay. That was less entertaining than I thought it...
To draw water from the lake on the outside. You're not far from the outside now.
Actually, we're only halfway, but whatever.
Gotcha. Thanks, Donnie. You gotta keep going.
We're going to encounter a boss in this area, which we cannot actually defeat. We need the walking tank thing. I can't remember that. Steve, I think is its name, actually, which is hilarious.